When I'm running, it gives me an opportunity to ground myself, to clear my mind, and to think in an innovative way.
Hold it. Hey, rolling. All right, good. Marker right in.
And it's a place where I've solved a lot of problems that I've had. It's actually the place where I came up with the research project that I proposed to the National Science Foundation that won me the Career Award.
Scene, Jena, take one.
I'm Dr. Jena McCollum. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering here at UCCS. When we started working with the Air Force, we were trying to figure out ways to 3D print solid rockets. We bought some commercial printers, and slowly but surely every single part would fail on it until we realized we need to re-engineer this whole thing. And so my students designed and fabricated their own version of a dense paste 3D printer that was capable of printing small rockets. And in fact, a replica of that printer is at the Air Force Research Labs in California. My field of expertise is in polymers and polymer composites, so we try to figure out how to manufacture those kinds of materials better with an application focused in energy. So that can be batteries, that can be rockets, a lot of different fields. I had 2 young children while I was getting my bachelor's degree, and when research opportunities would come up, I found that even though they were paid positions, I would end up having to pay out of pocket to cover my childcare costs. My personal experience through engineering education has really helped me get into the mind of students who think that certain opportunities aren't meant for them. And that could be because they're a caregiver, but it could also be just because they need to work full-time or they have other things on their plate aside from going to school and getting their degree. I just want students who don't come from traditional backgrounds to understand that opportunities are not crafted for people who don't look like them and don't have the same experiences as them, and that those opportunities are really meant for everyone, and I want to understand how we can make those things more accessible. The caregiver subsidy that we launched last year was one of the most fulfilling experiences I've had here at UCCS. To help remove a cost barrier for our caregivers, I wanted to ensure that if they were awarded an undergrad research fellowship, that they weren't going to have to cover the childcare costs out of pocket. Once I got to UCCS and I was in the classroom and I started having conversations with students and asking them about what their vision was for their future, I realized how much of an impact I could have. UCCS is a special place to teach because we get to work with such a wonderfully diverse student body because not everybody came from the same background and the same walk of life. It's important to meet students where they are because a snapshot doesn't tell you someone's potential. If they're empowered with the right mentor and the right support system, they could go above and beyond your top performers. Of course, engineering programs are very challenging, but when students get to leave the classroom and come into the research lab and actually try things and fail in a place where they're supported, they're more likely to be successful and actually finish their degree and persist through our program. What I've done is I've integrated our research experiences into our curriculum with course-based undergraduate research experiences. And what that means is that whether you have caregiving responsibilities, a full-time job, if you're going to show up and be in the classroom anyway, that's where we will meet you to give you that research experience. I incorporate resilience into my teaching and research style by just acknowledging that sometimes resilience is required to do hard things and that failure is required to do hard things. So when I'm in the classroom, I try to encourage my students. I tell them, I say, be brave and say the wrong thing because it's okay and the consequences are not as dire as you think. And when we can show our students how to fail and stand back up and continue failing in the right direction, that's what builds the resilience. I think that it's important for faculty to be approachable because learning is a very vulnerable experience. You're going to be less likely to want to embark on those hard journeys if you don't have someone you trust at the helm. I feel my biggest accomplishments when I am on the floor at graduation And I get to watch students that question their ability to make it through our program walk across the stage, shake the president's hand, take their degree, and walk out having completed their journey. And no award is ever going to match the feeling of watching these students make it to the end and be able to start their lives empowered with their degree.